In today's video, which was shot last week, I am heading to the Blue Ridge Mountains, Boone, North Carolina specifically, to shoot a lot of film, see a couple of my friends, and just hang out. I've been working quite hard over at Linus and his film lab, which is my own personal mail-in film lab. I'm so happy with how successful it has been, but it has taken away from shooting, making YouTube videos, and generally just relaxing. I'm actually moving into my own lab space here in Raleigh next week. So it'll be getting out of my apartment and I'll have a little bit of my life back. I'm hoping to separate work from home, and I'm really excited to see if that works for me and gives me more time to shoot YouTube videos and shoot film. Before we head up to the mountains, I'd like to introduce you to my car, a 1995 Mazda Miata. I'm not in Boone yet, but I'm stopping, I think, in Greensboro to take some photos in the fog. I'm gonna go do that really fast because I'm scared it's gonna disappear. I literally stopped on the side of the road too. There's this one shot in particular with this tree right here that I want to get really bad. Back on the road, I've got like an hour and 45 minutes left. Also, I forgot my mic. So if you hear that autofocus popcorn crackling, sorry. So the fog pretty much entirely went away for the rest of the drive. I'm about 30 minutes out right now. But then I stumbled across this pumpkin patch and it was just covered in fog. The fog is kind of disappearing right now, but I think I got some crazy ass photos.
Hey, you got your crush party.
Okay, it went out of focus for some reason. Let me try that one more time.
Okay.
First person I met up with in Boone was my friend Abby. The role I shot with her was the first portrait set that I've shot in a very long time, and I'm so stoked at what we were able to create. Firstly, I had my Cine Bloom filter on my Pentax 6x7 for a couple of the shots, but with my wide angle lens, which is an absolutely massive piece of glass, it didn't fit on there, which is all right. The shots that I took with and without the Cine Bloom filters were really good. So starting with the portraits in the forest, I really liked using the Cine Bloom filter in direct sunlight because it kind of took away some of the harshness of the light, and I really like how these forest shots look. Next up, we used my Miata as part of the scene. We already had the top down because the fall weather was perfect. I had her sit in the car, I took a couple shots, or I kind of kneeled on the hood of the car to get the shot. Yeah, those were sick. Next up, I noticed light refracting off my rear view mirror. I immediately told her to sit in the driver's seat and angled the mirror so it hit her right in the eyes. I wasn't sure if this was gonna come out exposed correctly, but I'm so glad it did. This is probably one of my favorite shots of the entire shoot. At this point, I was using the Cine Bloom filter. I think the 20% density filter really shines here. You can tell how much haze is added to the image when it's hit with a little bit of sunlight. And also, I'm so impressed with how sharp this image is. I feel like this might be the sharpest medium format photo that I've ever personally seen of my own work, even with the filter on there. Love this shot. After that, we headed back down the mountain into the actual town of Boone and shot in one of the neighborhoods there. And I don't know if you guys have felt the same way about shooting, but sometimes I'll take such a large break from it that I forget what I'm capable of creating in the moment. This was a perfect example of the entire day was a perfect example of that, but this particular moment shines through. We were standing in front of this old house and a nicely colored tree, and a dog started walking by as I was taking a Instagram story. And I realized that this is the place I wanted to shoot for a roll's worth of shots. And so we did. Gosh, I consistently in the fall, my favorite place to shoot is just in slightly older neighborhoods where the houses are clearly not brand new and the trees aren't either. Everything has a bit of age to it, and trees in these neighborhoods always seem to have the best possible leaves. Really stoked on a lot of these photos, but I took a couple of her laying down that I wasn't too thrilled about. I didn't expose properly and I did not get a good angle, so I thought I would just show you anyway. Live and you learn, right? Next up, I met up with my friends Nick and Sarah. Sarah is one of the first people I ever met when I started doing photography in 2016, and Nick is a newer friend who's been friends with Sarah for a while. This was really the first time I ever got to hang out with him. I'll link them both down below because they're both incredible photographers. And while we're on the topic of Nick, he just released his first EP, which is something I listened to the entire way up and the entire way back to and from Boone that kind of falls in line with a lot of the music I like anyway. I'll link that down below too. Anyway, I shot quite a few portraits of Nick right behind Sarah's apartment because the leaves and the light was just perfect back there. And this is another great example of some photos that didn't work out as well. I tried using a reflector and it just did not look right. That's okay though. I didn't get video of either of these moments. Nick and Sarah and I went on a little bit of a hike, and I shot quite a bit of film. My favorite images are of Nick's shoes up against these ferns. You'll see a 35mm version and a 120 film version, which has the Cine Bloom filter on there. After that, Sarah had class, so Nick and I took a walk around one of the neighborhoods up there in Boone. This image of Nick on these stairs is my favorite. The light is just hitting those trees so perfectly, and it was all flattened together real nice with a classic 50mm lens. Lastly, the sun was starting to set, so Nick, Sarah, and I headed up to Thunder Hill where I took a couple more photos. I pretty much just shot a roll of lmao 400, which, if you aren't familiar, is one of my favorite film stocks. However, my fucking Pentax battery died halfway through the roll. Guys, if you're ever going on a trip anywhere and you're using a camera that relies on a battery to work properly, change that shit out every single time you go on a major trip. Right before you go on a trip, when you're done with the trip, in the middle of the trip. I mean, it's an investment that you're gonna have to make because there's no getting those images back if you don't realize that your battery is dead. So, the photos I shot up at Thunder Hill remind me of why I pretty much exclusively want to shoot lomography film. I don't know what it is about those colors. It's my favorite. it's the best. Anyway, I'm gonna cut this video together and see if this all makes sense. And yeah, guys, thanks for hanging on so long. It's been ages since I posted a video. And oh my gosh, yeah, wait. Thank you so much for 10,000 subscribers. I have 10 videos up and I have 10,000 subscribers. I guess this is video 11, but dude, you guys are awesome. And this has been something that I've been dreaming about since I was a little kid. I've had cringy meme channels, gaming channels, a photography channel before this. I've been doing this. Anyway, if this edits together properly, this is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching, and please let me know what you think, because this is definitely not a traditional video for me. Thank you so much for watching. I am Linus from Linus and His Camera. My Instagram is right here, and have a great day. This fucking Cine Bloom filter is insane. This shit is so fucking hazy. Keeping it on there. No one knows I have acne.